I'm Atrom, and this is my tier list for Temporary 6 classes. Um, the goal, the main goal when you play on Temporis is to be as fast as possible in leveling up, and for that you have to deal as much damage as possible while still surviving. And then another goal would be to be strong in player versus player and to be strong in endgame dungeons. With those three things into consideration, I made this list. So let's start from the bottom up. Eliotrop has portals. It's heavy AP cost to close them, and um, they give a very low bonus of damage compared to the normal Eliotrop. And it's also a slow and complicated class to play. Eliotrop has almost no bonus because all his spells cost Kamas, which are slowly obtained, and they don't actually do all that much. They may be good in late game dungeons. Osamadoses rely on summons, which are not the best things on Temporis. Maybe this time they will be, but even so, the buffs and the heal, it's on a high cooldown. I wouldn't say it's worth it. Foggernaut reduces movement points and buffs movement points of allies. Not the most useful thing, but on the other hand, the shield from Foggernaut is quite strong, and it's AoE. It's actually very strong. It's a high cost, 5 AP in total, 2 for the summon and 3 for the shield. A solid class, but not that useful. Um, Kra has finally an interesting concept for Kras. Some say it's very powerful. I would say because of the playstyle on Temporis, where you go on close combat fights with idols, it's not that optimal. And the range bonus, it's kind of slow. It's one per turn, won't make much of a difference. Next up, Vitar SRAM has a high damage reduction. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I think there's some misinformation regarding how they said the things over there, but I think it's actually that the companion of the SRAM gets 50% of the damage, and then the SRAM gets 50% of the damage if you hit the companion, which is not all that great. If the SRAM only receives like 25% of the base damage, like 50% of the reduced one, then it would be much better. But even so, not the highest damage, and the invisibility could be strong in PvP, but that's about it. And actually in PvE, but you still need an ally to be visible somewhere, which could be a problem. Um, then Xeller gets only 1 AP, like there's a Sacker which should get much more than that. There's the Hooper Mage who gets 2 AP after his first 2 spells casts, and also Power. So not that great of a class. Actually should have been a bit lower, I would say. Feka, good shielding, can almost deny an entire turn on an enemy, an entire turn of damage. Very strong. Any huge heals, insane heals. Um, you just need to be in the midst of the fight so you get damaged a bit. Then Rogue has a free action of damage, heal, or pushback. Not the highest rates, but it's still a free action. I would say it's pretty solid. Uginak, um, he can reduce the damage on the enemies and then lots of heals if he's in the midst of the fight. That's where he wants to be. Very good reduction of damage, good tanking. Eka Flip, just a strong overall snowballing class, like in the late game, where you actually need those critical hits. On some builds, it's 25%, it's a lot, and then the fact that you actually get power every time you crit, it's crazy. Very good class. The buff is also good if you are lucky and bad if you are not, but it's still a buff for 3 turns. Masquerade, free action of power or MP or shield every turn. I would say it's quite similar to Diop, which gets power and shield every turn, but he needs to end in close combat. Sacrier, lots of AP, and MP if he needs to catch his target, and then 20% of the max HP every 2 turns, that's a lot. Sadida, if you time it well, the infected state can trigger a high damage twice. What you want to do is to infect those that had a high damage spell that last hit them. Hooper Mage, some say it's the best class. I put it on A and not on S. So Hooper Mage and Panda, they're a little bit almost the god tier, but not quite there. I think Kankama did a really good job balancing those classes on A tier. Hooper Mage will need an Omni build, which is not a problem later in the game, but in the beginning of the game it will be pretty slow, I would say. Although the 2 AP and 100 power for just 2 elements, still very solid, still should be at the top. So the 8 tier list is like ordered from Panda to any, from the strongest to the weakest, in my opinion at least. And then Panda, with some AoE spells, or even if there are no AoE spells, you can just hit the barrel. But imagine if there will be AoE spells, you can put multiple barrels and hit all those barrels and all the enemies in that zone, and then each barrel triggers the damage for even more damage. It's just crazy. That was it. Um, Maybe you will have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments below. And good luck on temporaries on 22nd. See you there on Domo.